Welcome to a new episode of the podcast. Vox Agent is made by AI for business executives that work with AI. Today, we're diving headfirst into something pretty huge, this unprecedented surge in venture capital flowing into AI startups. It's really reshaping, well, everything in the global startup world. Our mission here is simple. Cut through the noise, pull out the key insights from the latest reports, and give you that shortcut to being properly informed on, frankly, a critical topic. We'll look at the big opportunities, obviously, but also tackle the significant challenges that come along with this flood of cash.
And unprecedented really is the word. It's not just a little bump. We're talking about a genuine transformation, changing market dynamics completely.
Yeah.
I mean, just look at 2024. Private investment in AI hit an all-time high. What was it? $150.8 billion globally?
Wow, that's a number.
It is. And get this. AI deals recently made up over a third of all venture deal value. Even higher in the first half of 2025, something like 64.1% of total deal value. So yeah, like you said, it's not just a trend, it's a fundamental shift. It changes how innovation gets funded, where the talent goes, basically who's going to lead the pack in the coming years.
Those numbers are almost hard to grasp. So what makes this surge different? We've seen tech booms before, even AI hype cycles. What defines this specific surge?
That's a really good question. Context is everything here. The reports show this massive jump in funding specifically for AI startups. It jumped 52% year over year to $131.5 billion in 2024.
52%.
52%. And here's the kicker. That happened while overall VC funding was actually declining.
Okay, that is different. So it's not just riding a wave, it's creating its own.
Precisely. It's growing like crazy while the wider market cools off. We've had AI hype before. Sure, expert systems in the 80s, big data maybe 10 years ago. But the sheer scale of the capital this time is what sets it apart. It really feels like an inflection point. And many point to OpenAI's ChatGPT launch in late 2022 as the spark that just ignited this investor frenzy we're seeing.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, just so we're all on the same page, can you quickly clarify what we mean by AI startups and venture capital here? And then how does this surge really shake up innovation and competitive dynamics?
Right, good point. So AI startups, these are basically young companies whose core product or service hinges on AI. It could be anything, really. AI for drug discovery, AI in farming, logistics, you name it. And venture capital, VC, that's the money, the private equity financing these startups get from investors who see huge growth potential. They give cash, usually for a stake in the company. And the surge just means VCs are pouring a much bigger slice of their pie into these AI companies. They're competing hard to back the winners. Now, this accelerates innovation massively, right? Startups can hire top people, do ambitious R&D, but it also dials up the competition. You get tons of well-funded players chasing similar goals, often leads to that kind of winner-takes-most situation.
Right, okay. So here's where it gets really interesting for me. Beyond just the general buzz, why this much money for these specific companies, what is it about their tech, their foundations, that makes them so incredibly attracted to VCs right now?
Yeah, it's fascinating because it goes deeper than just slapping an AI label on something. It's about the kind of tech they're building, defensible tech. First up, you have these advanced ML architectures. Think foundation models like OpenAI's GPT series, Anthropic's Claude. Exactly. These rely on super sophisticated transformer architectures. That's the cutting edge AI brain. And they need massive, massive computing power to train. The sheer complexity, the huge cost to build and train these models, that creates a really high barrier to entry, a big moat, VCs call it.
Not a moat.
And VCs love moats because it limits future competition, makes the investment feel safer, potentially more lucrative.
So it's like building something so complex and expensive that only a few players can realistically compete at that foundational level. How does that change things for businesses wanting to use AI?
That's exactly it. It suggests that this core layer of AI, the really heavy lifting, might end up dominated by a handful of these super well-funded companies. For most other businesses, it means you probably won't build your own massive foundation model. Instead, you'll likely leverage these powerful models as a service, tap into them.
Okay, so you build on top.
Right. Which brings us to the second point, data and cloud infrastructure. These startups handle colossal amounts of data, huge computation needs. So they need robust data pipelines. They rely heavily on cloud architecture for training, for deployment. I mean, look at Microsoft report. It suggests they're spending something like $80 billion on AI data centers in 2025. Just shows the scale needed.
80 billion, wow.
Yeah. So startups that can master this infrastructure piece become very attractive. They can scale fast. And third, it's about AI-first product design. AI isn't just bolted on, it's the absolute core. This often leads to what they call continuous learning systems. The product literally gets better the more data it gets, the more people use it.
Ah, the network effect, but with data.
Precisely. More users mean more data, which means better AI performance, which attracts more users. It's a self-reinforcing loop, a virtuous cycle. VCs see that and think, okay, this isn't just an app, this could be a whole platform. That's incredibly appealing.
Okay, so we have the capital, these deep technical foundations. What does the cutting edge actually look like today? What are the top companies building right now, and how's it actually hitting the market?
Well, right now, it's undeniably dominated by generative AI. That's stuff creating human-like text, images, code. It's moving incredibly fast. We're seeing new unicorns pop up all the time in this space. OpenAI, Anthropic.
Yeah.
But also strong European players like Mistral AI pushing the envelope.
Right.
And the funding has fueled amazing open source progress, too. Think Meta's Llama models. They've really closed the gap with the big closed models. Performance differences are sometimes under 2% now.
Which is huge for broader access.
Absolutely. It democratizes things a bit. Then there's the huge trend of AI as a service and APIs. Top startups deliver their AI magic through APIs. OpenAI's API is everywhere, right? Companies can plug it in without needing deep AI expertise themselves. It's a strong revenue model, often usage-based, and it creates this layered ecosystem. Some build the core AI, others build applications on top. And maybe most importantly, we're seeing real maturity and adoption. This isn't just lab experiments anymore. These AI solutions are actually being deployed at scale in enterprises. Like one stat I saw mentioned, over 79% of healthcare organizations had adopted some form of AI by 2023.
79% in healthcare.
Yeah.
That signals real mainstream readiness.
Exactly. It shows these solutions are delivering tangible value.
Okay, so the tech's amazing, money's pouring in, it's maturing. But let's talk tangible benefits. How does this VC surge actually create value for us, for the business leaders listening, or even just folks curious about the real impact?
Yeah, the value creation is pretty significant, and it hits in a few key ways. First, accelerated product development. More funding means hiring the best people, spending big on R&D, getting the necessary computing power. It just speeds everything up. I read about an AI lending platform, for example. Because they could invest heavily in their models, they managed to approve like 44% more borrowers.
44% more.
Yeah, and at 36% lower interest rates than traditional methods. That's direct impact from the investment fueling better tech. Second, it allows for rapid scale and market reach. VC cash lets these startups expand super fast, grab users, collect data, feeding that virtuous cycle we mentioned.
Right. Get big fast.
Get big fast, exactly. Capture the market. And third, AI provides a clear competitive edge. Businesses using AI effectively are differentiating themselves. Think Amazon's recommendation engine apparently drives over 30% of their revenue.
30%.
Or AI and logistics startups are getting around 15% cost savings. These aren't small numbers. It shows how this investment translates directly into efficiency, new products, better customer experiences, real value.
Those are powerful examples. It really drives home how quickly this is moving from theory to practice. Let's make it even more concrete. Where are we seeing these VC-backed AI solutions making a difference? Can you give us some memorable examples across different industries?
Oh, absolutely. The applications are popping up everywhere. In healthcare, it's huge. AI for diagnostics companies like ADOC, These.ai, they can spot strokes or tumors on scans in minutes, literally life-saving speed. Then there's personalized medicine. Tempus is a big name, tailoring cancer treatments using AI on genetic data. It's telling that something like 1 in every 4 VC dollars in healthcare is now going to AI companies.
1 in 4. Wow.
Yeah. In financial services, think fraud detection, better credit scoring. Upstart's AI, for instance, helps lenders approve about 43% more applicants, often with lower default rates, too, so it's expanding access.
That's significant.
Definitely. Manufacturing and supply chain AI for predictive maintenance, fixing machines before they break. Route optimization for deliveries, seeing around 15% improvement in on-time rates, similar drops in costs.
Yeah.
Even autonomous delivery vehicles like Neuro, they've raised over $2 billion in VC funding.
$2 billion for delivery bots.
It's happening. Then retail and e-commerce. Personalization engines are getting scarily good. And AI chatbots predictions are they'll handle maybe 70% of customer interactions by 2025.
70%.
And beyond specific sectors, you've got this rise of cross-industry AI as a service. Platforms doing analytics, document processing, tools useful almost anywhere, shows the broad appeal.
Okay, so it's spreading everywhere. With all this activity, what does the competitive landscape actually look like? Who are the main players? How are they competing? Sounds like a bit of a frenzy out there.
It really is dynamic. And yeah, crowded. You've got the big AI startups and unicorns, OpenAI, Anthropic, Databricks, Scale AI, Neuro. They're setting the pace, but then big tech is deeply involved. Google, Microsoft, Amazon. They're not just competitors with their own huge AI labs. They're also strategic investors and potential acquirers.
Right, they play both sides.
Exactly, like Google putting $450 million into Anthropic or Amazon's big partnership with them. It's this complex dance of competition and cooperation. Looking at market trends, AI startups snagged around 37% of all global VC funding in 2024. These huge mega rounds are common, and that rebound in U.S. startup funding up 75% in the first half of 2025, largely driven by these massive AI deals.
So AI is propping up the whole VC market almost.
In many ways, yes. Globally, the U.S. and China are still the leaders, no doubt. But Europe's catching up. They raised $8 billion in 2024. Companies like Mistral AI are making waves. And you're seeing rising activity in the Middle East and India, too. It's becoming a truly global race.
A global race, indeed. It sounds incredibly intense, like everyone's scrambling for position. But no revolution happens without bumps in the road. What are the major challenges, the roadblocks these AI startups, and by extension, the businesses adopting their tech, are facing?
Yes, the challenges. And they are significant. Understanding these is crucial for anyone looking to adopt AI. On the technical side, performance is still an issue. Generative AI can hallucinate, basically, make stuff up confidently. That's risky.
Yeah, I heard about that airline chatbot giving totally wrong info.
Exactly, cases like that. Scalability costs are another hurdle. Running these huge models isn't cheap. And AI still struggles with, well, basic common sense reasoning sometimes. Then there's enterprise integration. Companies often have messy, siloed data. Getting AI to work with existing IT systems can be tough. Plus, there's a big talent gap on the client side. You need people who know how to use these tools effectively. Training takes time and resources.
The people part is always key.
Always. And then you have the broader issues.
Like regulations and just market noise.
Precisely. Regulatory and ethical concerns are huge. Algorithmic bias is a real problem in lending, hiring. You have to be careful. Data privacy is paramount. Think GDPR, CCPA. And the rules are still evolving, which creates uncertainty. Investors are definitely asking tougher questions now about ethics and bias during due diligence.
As they should be.
Absolutely. Then there's market saturation and hype. So many players jumping in. Is there enough room? Is it a bubble? There's always the risk of an AI winter if the hype massively outruns reality, like the dot-com bust. And finally, plain old resource and talent constraints. The competition for top AI talent is insane, and getting enough specialized chips, GPUs, TPUs can be a real bottleneck. They're expensive and hard to get.
Okay, quite a list of challenges. So putting it all together, the huge potential, the intense competition, the real hurdles.
Right.
What does this mean for our listeners, for the business executives, the entrepreneurs out there? How should companies actually engage with this AI wave? How do you move beyond the buzzwords?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? The implications are really profound. First, the good news. There's incredible access to cutting-edge solutions. Even if you're a mid-sized company, you can partner with these startups and implement top-tier AI. Solve problems that were impossible before, like an insurance company cutting claims processing from days down to minutes using AI. That's now accessible.
That's a game changer.
It really is. But second, you have to be aware of the competitive threats and disruption. These well-funded startups can challenge established players fast. So what do? You need a strategy. Maybe develop AI internally. Maybe partner strategically. Maybe set up a corporate VC arm to keep an eye on things and invest early.
Proactive defense, essentially.
Yeah, exactly. Third, organizational preparedness is non-negotiable. You need to train your workforce, frame AI as a tool that helps them, not replaces them. You need to modernize your data infrastructure. And you need good change management. I know of a credit union that automated 70–80% of its consumer loans using AI. They had better loss rates, but it required rethinking workflows and getting staff comfortable trusting the system.
Right, the whole organizational shift.
It is. So concrete next steps. Educate your leadership. Develop an actual AI strategy. Scan the startup landscape constantly. Consider pilots small projects to test things out. And tackle governance and risk management from day one.
Excellent advice. It really underscores that this is about actively navigating the wave, not just waiting to see what happens. So looking ahead now, say the next 3 to 5 years, what's on the horizon?
Yep.
What emerging trends in AI and VC should we be tracking?
Okay, crystal ball time. I think the investment climate will evolve. The absolute fever pitch might cool a bit, but funding will stay strong. We'll likely see more focus on, sustainable business models, real ROI, not just potential. More money might flow into applied AI for specific industries, and definitely into the hardware and infrastructure underpinning it all. Global spending on generative AI alone is forecast to hit something like $644 billion in 2025. So the momentum is still massive.
$644 billion.
Yeah. Then the next frontier is AI 2.0. Keep an eye on AI agents. These are like autonomous software workers doing complex tasks, already seeing big seed rounds like $700 million in H1 2025 just for agent startups. Multimodal AI handling text, images, audio together will get much better, and more efficient, greener AI models are a big focus.
AI agents, that sounds potentially transformative.
It could be. We'll also see more convergence with other tech. AI plus 5G IoT for smart cities, industrial automation, AI plus blockchain for data integrity, AI plus augmented reality they'll weave together. This will drive major industry disruptions. Think autonomous driving finally hitting a tipping point, healthcare moving towards prescriptive AI, not just predicting, but advising, AI tutors in education, huge changes in creative fields, even AI tackling big global challenges like climate change.
So even more pervasive.
Definitely. And finally, those competitive and geopolitical dynamics will keep shifting. China's research output is huge. Europe's pushing hard on its own ecosystem, often with an ethical AI angle. We're seeing talent and investments spread out more globally, Middle East, India, whose AI market is projected to grow 25–35% annually. Expect more cross-border deals, more M&A as the market matures and consolidates. It's going to stay dynamic. This transformative wave isn't just about new tools. It's about a fundamental shift in how businesses create value. The question for you is not if AI will affect your industry, but how quickly you can embrace its opportunities and manage its responsibilities to reshape your future.
Thank you for joining the podcast, and see you soon.